Hello. Bonjour. I'm Boyd Cohen. I live in Barcelona, but you can probably tell by my accent I'm not from Spain. I'm from the US, but I didn't vote for Trump, so please don't hold me accountable to him. So I was supposed to have 15 minutes, but now I was told I have 10 minutes because we reduced our time, so I'm going to adapt on the fly and change what I was thinking of talking about a little bit. With 10 minutes, I have less time to get some points across. So I'm going to actually start with a story that will actually help explain the concepts I was going to share with you. There's a young man in Barcelona. He's not from there. He's from France. His name is Guillaume Tessy. And a few years ago in Barcelona, he met with another friend. So Guillaume is an engineer. He met with another engineer, and they met up at a fab lab. Some of you might know fab labs. They are spaces usually in urban areas. There's over 1,000 of them around the world that have fabrication equipment like 3D printing, laser cutters, and other facilities that actually allow makers to experiment, prototype, and develop new products. So Guillaume and Loic, two engineers, Loic is from Luxembourg, but surprise, surprise, two foreigners ended up in the city of Barcelona. This is part of the story as well. They came together around a passion around sustainability. Actually, Guillaume has a background in smart cities and renewable energies. And they had this vision for creating a sustainable solution around agriculture in urban areas. The concept is called Aqua Pioneers. And what they do with Aqua Pioneers, through a 3D lab, a fabrication lab, a green fab lab in Barcelona, they actually prototyped and designed and developed a prototype product that anybody could use in their house that would allow them to cultivate produce in their home with almost no water, 95% reduction in water. They're using aquaponics technology. But it's a really innovative product. It has a fish tank that's about this big. When the fish poo, if that translates, it fertilizes the plants above the fish tank. It's a wood piece of equipment, just about this tall, actually about like this, with a fish tank in it. The fish provide nutrients to the agricultural produce on top, and that produce filters the water, which goes back into the fish tank, so the fish can continue to swim and live around. Instead of going to raise money from investors, they raise money from a crowdfunding campaign. And instead of thinking of this product as a proprietary technology that they wanted to monetize through traditional means, they decided to treat the entire product as an open source product for the community. And right now, that product is available. Any fab lab in the world, there are several fab labs in France. At any fab lab in the world, you can essentially press a button and send the digital file to print this product like this, essentially for free. So I've had a chance to meet with the founders and understand their values and where they're going and their story. And, it's inspiring for many reasons. But when you take a step back, what does this say about where we are going around entrepreneurship in urban areas? In my last book, The Emergence of the Urban Entrepreneur, I talked about 3 converging factors that are combining together to actually drive innovation and entrepreneurship into cities. It is urbanization itself, which Pilar talked a lot about, that is not just about people moving for more opportunity, but we have to understand why are they moving, what do they expect when they get there. They expect all kinds of infrastructure and services, mobility, transportation of all kinds, housing, food, energy, water, quality of life, green space, community cultural activities. Well, as more and more cities are getting more and more dense, they're struggling to deliver all of these services. So this urbanization challenge is one of these 3 converging factors driving entrepreneurship and innovation in cities. A second one is about collaboration. So we're seeing a growing movement around the world for new forms of collaboration between cities, entrepreneurs and other people in the private sector and citizens themselves. And that trend is going to continue. And related to collaboration is the collaborative economy, which I know is a big topic in France. WeShare was founded here. I've worked a lot with them. The collaborative economy is also a significantly urban trend. The density in cities enable sharing to happen in real time. The ubiquitous nature of smartphones and geolocation allows us to, in real time, exchange services, knowledge, products within a small geographic territory. So we have urbanization, we have collaboration, and we have democratization. Democratization of innovation and technology. In my book, The Emergence of the Urban Entrepreneur, I quote an investor from Silicon Valley who says in the 1990s, it took $2.5 million to bring a tech product to market. In the 2000s, because of things like software as a service, servers in the cloud, you could bring the price down to bring a tech product to market to $250,000. And then he said, it seems to me now we're going towards a space where you can actually bring a product to market for $250. Now, we can debate whether that's true or not, but there's a lot of interesting examples of makers like Guillaume, who I already mentioned, who use Fab Lab equipment to actually develop a prototype without having their own infrastructure. They don't have a team. They don't have a lot of hardware. They don't have a manufacturing facility. They don't do a lot of marketing. There's an example, a famous one in the US, of a guy like that. He's an inventor, and he used fab equipment in his city in San Diego. His name is Ryan Gepper, to build a product for cooling beverages for the 21st century, really innovative product. Put it on a crowdfunding campaign, Kickstarter, and generated $13 million in pre-sales. He had no team, no investors, and no equipment. One prototype and a video. So the world is urbanizing, entrepreneurship is urbanizing, cities are starting to get in the trend of appreciating the role of entrepreneurs. But one thing that's really interesting, and this is where I think we're going to see the evolution of entrepreneurship in cities. Up until now, we still have local economic developers looking at how can we incubate and support startups that are going to export anything around the world. Video game technology, we don't care. We want jobs and income. The problem is there are going to be fewer and fewer startups creating lots of jobs. Technology is allowing us to automate. The future of work is less full-time jobs. We're going to find more people in our cities like Guillaume, innovators who don't even aspire to create a big company or become millionaires. What they want to do is create something cool and share it with the world and find some way to live from that invention that they're able to do and share it with other people. So we're seeing a shift, and I think what cities are going to do in the near future, and we're starting to see this, is turn the attention from export-oriented entrepreneurial behavior to how can we improve our local economy and our local communities through entrepreneurship. So things like procurement for innovation, things like this Fab Lab. In Barcelona was founded the idea of a Fab City. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Fab City. A Fab City has a goal by 2054 that 50% of everything consumed in the city is produced in the city. Think about what Guillaume is doing with Aqua Pioneers. It's trying to bring farming into an urban environment and reduce the amount of transportation required for food. I know we're having a conversation about smart ports, and here's this idiot American on stage talking about, well, we should just print and make everything locally. Well, then you're saying, well, how do we survive as an economy in a port city? I was in Rotterdam at the AIVP annual conference a few years ago doing a keynote about this topic, and we were discussing Rotterdam is doing a really good job of converting to a maker city themselves. And they converted part of their port into a maker community with fab equipment, and they brought universities there to see how we can actually use our port facilities to support this maker community. So I think where we're moving is moving more entrepreneurship into urban areas, focus entrepreneurial behavior more on solving urban problems, quality of life problems, mobility problems, energy problems, food problems, rather than worrying about creating the next video game export. Let's turn our innovation capability of our citizens on our own urban problems, embracing things like blockchain, and also attacking the sharing economy, but supporting more like platform cooperatives, which are more locally owned cooperatives that are interconnected globally through platform technology. So that's the future. Let's turn our attention to how can we encourage and support and inspire our entrepreneurs in our cities to solve our own problems. And if they're solving urban problems, those problems might be a challenge for other cities in our network, and we can help them reach other urban cities with similar demands. Thank you very much.